Yes. Economist. February of 2018. Yes. You know, this whole concept of being credentialed, I thought about it having been appointed with insurance companies. Yeah. And then you wanted me to get employment, but then you put the docket information on the internet so that I look bad when somebody searches for my name. Now, I'm kind of thinking that a lot of the certifications have certain requirements and the actual morality of the individual does come into play. It's kind of like a credit score to get appointed with an insurance company. You expect me to earn X number of dollars to pay child support at approximately $18,000 a year. And then you don't enforce my right to due process. Now, I'm one of these Americans that has the intellectual ability to do anything I want. The problem is you've completely destroyed my credibility. You issued a court order in 2011 where you said I was a domestic abuser and a child abuser. Then you reissued it when you arrested me and you gave me a criminal record where I have an arrest record, but I don't have any convictions of any crimes. Now, a lot of these credentials that are necessary to earn considerable amounts of income, they really do look at the personal public record of an individual. And when you arrest me for crimes I didn't commit in Sequim, Washington, and then you put it on the internet, I make sure to document Port Angeles man arrested. The fake news documentation. And then you decided to issue a dissolution of marriage where you didn't want me asking my spouse, well, did you cheat on me? Oops. Did you intentionally take my sons and have me arrested on Guam so that you could abduct them and then you could get to Clown County and you could pay somebody? Did you intentionally kidnap my sons? Now, when you really look at the dissolution of marriage, it's one of those things where if I had had the right to question my own wife about, well, why'd you take them? You didn't buy me a plane ticket. You didn't wait until I was a resident so that I could have notice and opportunity to be heard. You didn't wait until the jury trial was over where I was found not guilty before reissuing the protection order. You didn't actually enforce the law, Judge. Now, as much as you think it's fucking funny, I'm thinking there's a lot of puppets that need to be turned on because you don't remember because you came to find out. And the only time that you do remember is when you sexualize yourselves. It's kind of like loading yourself with some virtual movies, coming to find out, and then watching them and thinking, oh, sure, we're going to do that. And then you forget what you've actually experienced after you have the orgasm. Now, I'm going to want you to enforce the law. I really am. And as much as you don't think you have to, you do. Now, I was reading an article in here. Yes, I'm just trying to find it. Oh, Land of the Free. Oh, here it is. How to rig an economy. Pooch. Now, I just found out occupational licensing, the practice of regulating who can do what jobs, has been on the rise for decades. Oh, now, it makes it harder to enter their industries. Yes. But what's really interesting, right, is that in 2015, the Obama administration did a study, and about 1,100 occupations are regulated in at least one state, but fewer than 60 are regulated in all 50 states. This occupational licensing, estimated wage proofs from licensing. 25% increase. Why don't you get me every state's occupational licensing and then all the credentialing of every one of those individuals that by law has to have a license? We have a very discriminatory system of licensing. Now, let's say you're me. You send 1,600,000 emails to those in office about your rights being violated. All they care about is back child support. They didn't want me questioning my spouse. They didn't want me having the actual custody of my sons. And then they set up a very special way of obstructing people from being able to practice certain very obstructionist. Now they give this example. Ms. Varnum cannot, for example, prescribe the shoes diabetics often need to prevent the skin on their feet from breaking down. To do so, she needs the approval of a doctor. Ms. Varnum employs one. She pays a doctor $1,000 a month to sign the forms that she sends him. The doctor, she says, has a similar arrangement with 5 other offices. As a nurse practitioner with an additional postgraduate degree who's trained to deliver primary care, North Carolina, like many states, does not allow nurse practitioners to offer all the services they are trained to provide. So it seems that a nurse practitioner is employing a doctor to approve her diagnosis and prescription as a requirement of the law of having a license to be a nurse practitioner. I'd like to know what these relationships are. Now, the doctor's really not being the doctor, is he? No, he's not. He's just approving and reviewing the diagnosis of the nurse practitioner so as she can do her job. Now, wouldn't it be nice that for $1,000 a month, I could make $60,000 a year because nurse practitioners have to employ a doctor to okay the prescription that they're prescribing because the state obstructs. Now, it's going to be one of those days. Going back to hell, aren't we? The god awful American citizen that has a god awful divorce. Why don't you get me all these licenses of the highly educated workers? 13% are licensed. Now, you wanted me to pay back child support. You wanted me to pay my wife money to abduct my sons, move to Clown County, issue a protection order where I was not given any notice or opportunity, then have me arrested for violating it so that she could renew it. And then you decided that I would not be given any notice or opportunity to be heard before you issued dissolutions of marriage. And then you arrested me numerous fucking times. Now, when you thought that I was stupid, did you think that I wouldn't sue you for doing this? You're just going to keep me on the floor someplace. Is that what you're going to do? I'm going to take every professional license of this nation. I'm going to find every certification. Then I'm going to sue the fucking shit out of every individual that I have the legal right to sue.